And welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. I wanted to put together a quick channel update to discuss a few things, specifically a talk on the content we've already covered, some upcoming topics, and I also want to talk about some merch that I have in the works and what my intentions are with it. And then we'll wrap it up with the current top 10 games on Steam and the top 10 games on the Steam Deck. And finally, a game recommendation from me. Okay, so with all that out of the way, thank you for watching and let's jump into it. So for those of you new to the channel and its content, I created this channel because I am a Linux enthusiast who wants to share Linux and my Linux experience with others. The content I make is not designed to convince people they should or must make the quote-unquote switch. Rather, my content is meant to showcase what Linux can do, and even more so to help people through guides and how-tos. Also, the spark that really pushed me to start this journey was hearing all the misinformation and disinformation out there about Linux. So I suppose a big part of the channel was born from wanting to show people the truth about Linux and its capabilities, if any of that makes sense. The channel is still fairly new, and as you can see, we're at 638 subs with a total of 7,860 views in the past 28 days, which is amazing for me and being in a very niche genre. This is a long way from the 9 subs I had 10 months ago of family and friends. So, a hearty thank you for all the new subs and for all the views. I very much appreciate it, more than you know. Thank you. Okay, so as far as content we've covered so far, we have talked about installing Pop! OS. We've talked about basic Linux security, basic desktop Linux security, I should say. We've talked about customizing GNOME, how to create content on Linux, specifically making videos from start to finish using Kdenlive and OBS Studio. We've talked about mining crypto on Linux. We've discussed the file system and some basic terminal commands. We've covered some basic must-have apps. We've covered some of the more common mistakes made by new Linux users. We've covered Steam gaming. Specifically, I had an entire series dedicated to going through the 252 games of my Steam library. And if you're interested, you can check that out. We talked about Linux kernel and GNU. We've covered how to install a hypervisor, specifically VirtualBox, how to set it up, and how to install different distros that you can play around with. We've talked about installing and using Android on our Linux machine. And we've covered the installation of ProtonUp and Mango Hood. And we've also covered how to play games through Game Pass, or the Game Pass cloud. So we've covered quite a bit, actually, and there's a lot more content to come. So in the immediate future, I'm working on some videos, so keep an eye out for those, on how to set up and configure your racing wheel and flight stick, for games like Dirt Rally, Race Combat, or whatever. And then we're going to cover Lutris, how to install Lutris, how to set it up. We're going to talk about getting your emulators up and installed and configured, how to play Windows games through Lutris, how to port over your different libraries and set up your different accounts. That series is not going to be quite as long as the Steam library series, but I figure 3, maybe 4 videos total for that. And also, as someone asked me in the comments, as far as the Steam library playthroughs, yes, I'm going to continue those when I buy different games throughout the year, different sales. Once I get about 5 or so new games, I'll go ahead and make a video of those. We'll cover those and kind of go through them, see how they work on Linux. All right, so that covers that. I do want to talk a little bit about some of the merch I have coming up. I have no creativity. I am the least artistic person you'll ever know. So I'm kind of struggling putting together some different logos and different designs, but my intention is to try to sell a hat, coffee mug, and a t-shirt for now. And the proceeds for this, I have decided that 50% of the proceed of each sale will go towards either a charity or some type of open source Linux project that needs some financial help to sort of support that community as well. And then the other 50% of that will go towards maintaining and helping with the channel. And that could be upgrading microphone, replacing parts in the PC, energy costs, so on and so forth. Once I have the store up and going, I will make a community note on the channel, and then I'll start putting the link to the channel, or to the store rather, in the description. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the top 10 games on Steam and the top 10 games on the Steam Deck. So for Steam, the top 10 sellers right now are Black Ops 6, which doesn't work because of the anti-cheat. Farming Simulator 25, Throne and Liberty, Baldur's Gate 3, Age of Wonders 4, Stalker 2, Dragon Age, The Velguard, Icarus, Apex Legends, and Counter-Strike 2. So I went ahead and pulled up not PUBG. I pulled up ProtonDB just to kind of compare. And the only games that don't work, according to at least ProtonDB, is Black Ops 6 for obvious reasons, the anti-cheat. Let's see, Stalker 2 isn't out yet. Let's see, Apex Legend no longer works on Linux, thanks to the devs pulling the plug on that. And then Counter-Strike 2. So we've got 3 games out of 10 that don't work because of the anti-cheat. And then, of course, we don't know about Stalker yet because it's not out yet. All right, so let's go and take a look at the Steam Deck. Top 10 games there currently are Vampire Survivors, Stardew Valley, Baldur's Gate 3, Brotato, Metaphor, Balatro, The Binding of Isaac, Cyberpunk 2077, Hogwarts Legacy, and Dragon Age: The Velguard. Okay, so let me give you a game recommendation, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, so my game recommendation for you is Little Nightmares 2. It's currently at $29.99 on Steam. That's US dollars. And you can see that has a very positive review. All reviews is very positive, 32,760. And then the recent reviews, 382, also very positive. It's from Bandy. And I've got about 2.5 hours in it so far, just messing around. It's pretty dark. And I'll show you some gameplay after this. The conclusion, maybe 3 or 4 minutes worth of gameplay. So you can check it out. But highly recommended. If you don't want to spend the $30 now, I would recommend waiting for a sale, which should be coming fairly soon, and pick it up for much cheaper. Okay, so with all that said, I thank you all for watching. Stay safe out there. I hope to see you next video, which should be coming out by the end of this next week. And have a good one.